Guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Combiner Wars Deluxe Class Breakdown. Another Stunticon that allows us to finally complete Minosaur. And it kind of looks weird because, I mean, in the package here, you got this bit that's flipped up there. Obviously, you come around here the back, you can actually flip it down. So that's not up like that. So that's really cool. But he has a really nice breakdown look. I really dig it. For his accessories, you can see he's got his foot or hand. He's got a gun there. The package, though, is new in the fact that with all these Wave 2 Deluxe figures, the clamshell wraps around here and actually protects the actual comic. And you can see that it's off-centered a little bit, which is kind of cool. But it allows you to see Transformers here along the side, the Generations logo. Really cool image here of breakdown in the back. I don't know which comic book it is. It doesn't really say anywhere. It probably does when you look at the actual comic book, but hopefully it touches on some of the actual Combiner Wars stuff. I mean, I remember with the original Thrilling 30 comics, they basically didn't even show the character of the figure that you bought. So it's like, what's the point? So I don't know. Hopefully that has something to do with it. But they're comics, and I know a lot of people like them. Then you come around here to see that he's number 4 of 5. But the numbers, again, are a little bit skewed because we already got drag strip. And you see that he transforms in 12 steps. And it says, Breakdown is always worried that he's being watched. The Decepticons take full advantage of his need to remain unseen and mobilize him as a scout. Paranoia comes in handy when you're trying to avoid detection. And it's kind of true, honestly. That's really kind of neat. But then on the side here, you see all 5 of the actual Stunticons finally are able to come together and form Minosaur. And you can see that it becomes an armor-like. So, as I touched on with some of my other Combiner War figures, this is really a true Scramble City type of figure, and I absolutely love it. So, for the package, that's about it. I'm really excited about this guy. I think he really looks great. But packaging-wise, that's about it. So, without further ado, let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Breakdown opened up and out of his packaging, and much like all the other Wave 2 figures, he does come with this comic book. It doesn't specifically give you a number per se in terms of what the actual number is, but as you can see down here, it says that it's part of the Transformer Combiner Wars number 5, which basically means that this is like the 5th in the story. There you can see that there's Megatron all busted up. There's Starscream with them. Just flipping through, you can see that you got Bumblebee talking to some weird looking dude, and then you got Megatron. But the best, coolest part, I think, on here is on the back here, you do have the kind of design stages of it. You got the sketch stage, you got the gray model stage, you got the finished product, a few sketches right over here, you got the actual color layout, and then on the back here, you actually have a more of an extended bio on him, listing his name, group affiliation, things like that, and then more details as reported by Soundwave, which is really very cool. I think that's wonderful. If you want to read it, you can just pause it and read it right there. But I think it's cool that they kind of flesh out some of these characters. But for the toy, this thing is absolutely, there's no question that this is Breakdown. I mean, this is a wonderful representation of how he actually looks. Now, in terms of his weapon storage, I do got to thank my friend Chuck Dog because he pointed this out. It's not mentioned anywhere in the instructions that his the foot hand thing can be tabbed on the top. You got this little, on the side here, these 2 little groove sections that will... once you get it lined up proper and get it right there, something like that, it's kind of a pain in the butt to get to line up. Well, the easiest thing to do, you got a little notch that sticks out here and a little groove section. You just put that right in there and then fold it down there, and that's a little bit easier because that automatically lines it up. And we do know that we are getting a Sunstreaker, and this, to me, is what it's going to look like. I mean, this really does, I mean, imagine this yellow. I mean, here's Sunstreaker's engines on his roof. I mean, that absolutely nails it. Really very cool. But setting this off to the side, this is how he regularly looks. Now, one thing that's neat is you got these little slots here, in here, and then you got a slot right here on his sword gun thing that you can just tab that in there if you wanted to. I mean, or you could put that there. I think that looks much cooler, but you can slot these right along the side here, so you do have that kind of weapon storage. But vehicle mode, like I said, this thing absolutely looks like Breakdown. And bringing in his G1 self, I mean, everything on here, I mean, the color is just about the same. This is a little bit darker, but it does have a very similar look. I mean, this is a much older looking Lamborghini or whatever, Ferrari, I don't know. People made fun of me because I said Dead End was a Lamborghini. No, oh, he's a Ferrari. Yeah, whatever. He's a car. He's got 4 wheels. He drives. Same thing with him. But you can see that this thing really does evoke that original Generation 1 figure. I mean, even with the blue that goes around the outline here, I mean, they nailed that. Really very nice. It has 15 Racing. I have no idea what 15 Racing means. I can't think of what that would reference. But I love the detail, and you got some nice silver paint on the actual rims. Really nice tires. I mean, these are tires that you would imagine on a car like this, very thin. He rolls a little bit better, but he still kind of sticks up a little bit. All these figures with very low profiles always have a very rough time getting all 4 of those tires down on the ground. I don't know why. It kind of annoys me, but that's probably the most annoying aspect. You can see the paint's a little bit sloppy right here along the side. That kind of stinks. It's a lot nicer on that side, but the rest of the paint's actually really nice. You got some nice silver here for the headlights, although it looks like there's like 3 of them. You have the nice Decepticon logo just printed right there. Overall, I mean, really a very gorgeous looking vehicle mode. Now, for me, the breakdown has always been a leg. Specifically, he is a right leg, so bringing in the G1 figure, put that right there. You got his right leg. That's him. So to do that with this, it is basically the exact same thing. You're going to take this. This is going to be his foot. You're going to take this, fold this back like so, fold that back, and then this section will rotate forward. And the proper transformation has it looking like this. But you guys know how I feel about that proper transformation thing, and you can probably leave that up a little bit. I prefer a more G1 look, so I rotate it around to look like that. And I mean, that really is very simple. Now, if you wanted to, you could rotate this around and you can have that be the foot, but I kind of like leaving it like that. It just having a little toe thing there for the front of his foot, just something about that I just think is cool looking. Plus it gives a little bit more of a stable heel form, but for his limb mode, I mean, that's what I do. It will affect the articulation. It won't bend backwards, but much like this one, I mean, it wouldn't bend. It only would bend the way that the head would move. So that's the way the G1 toy was, and I kind of like that. But if you leave it like this, obviously you do have that articulation. It does also rotate right there, so you do got a full range of motion with it. But personally, I just think that this is the best look for him. And obviously, I'll show you guys that full thing when I take a look at Menosaur. So tucking that down, taking this off, going back to his robot mode literally is boom, or his vehicle mode is like that. So it's very simple. But now going to his actual robot mode, we're going to move this all the way back. We're going to separate this. This tabs in along the side here. So you pull that out, separate this. These you have to accordion and then push into place. Accordion down, push that into place. Fold down the foot just like so. This section here, you rotate this down and you create his actual heel. So bringing that down, bring this out a little bit, fold these out. Do that on this side as well, kind of get these angled. Then this whole section here, you're going to detach this. This is going to come around, and then you got a little groove section here that when you fold it around, that's what you actually tab this piece into. So you bring that down, bring that all the way down, then you angle these bits up and you fill in the top part of his chest. So angle that up just like so, fold that back down, rotate that. His hips are weird, but you just kind of angle these back up like so and straighten everything out. And there you have breakdown in his robot mode. And in robot mode here, you can see that he's a really fun and accurate looking representation of that G1 version as well. He's blocky, and honestly, I love it. You can see he's got his little sword weapon. You can bring this in. Again, I don't know why you would want to do it, but you can have him hold that as a gun. But I really do dig him. There are some weird parts about him, but for a comparison, here you have the G1 version. And again, like I said, you got a lot of the similarities here. I love the fact that, again, they really homage that original look in terms of, like, you got the lower part of the legs are blue. I kind of wish that these upper part were also blue just to kind of match this, but it's not too bad. And then obviously you got the very blocky and square head with the red face. And I mean, even come down to the side, you got the way that the top of the car kind of hangs off the back. It's very similar to the original one, but I dig it. Now, one thing that's weird on him is the way that these hips are. It's more than likely done this way just for, I guess, the arm mode. But these hips, they can angle down. You can see you swivel them up like that, and then they can swivel down as well. And it's not meant to stay like that in terms of robot mode because it looks really stupid. I mean, you definitely want to keep it up like this. My only guess is that it's like that for the arm. It gives it a little bit more of an extension, I would imagine. It's kind of strange though, but you come around here to the back and you can see that it's actually like on two separate hinges that allow those hips to swivel out like that. It's weird, and it kind of is annoying in the fact that you can see that it just rotates like that, and it's kind of hard to keep it positioned like that. You're constantly fiddling with it, but beyond that though, I really do like it. He does have a very blocky look. I guess the head may be a little bit kind of far forward, I guess, from where the shoulders are. It's not too terribly bad, but I'm just, at this point, just kind of being nitpicky with the different aspects of him. But I really do enjoy the way he looks. I like the paint on here, like I mentioned. You got some nice silver paint. You got the Decepticon logo right there. The face is actually really nicely done. You got blue eyes in there, or more purple, I should say, I guess. This is blue, and those are a little bit more purple, but really cool. Now, for his articulation, you can see that the head is on a bit of a ball joint, so you get a little going up and down, but that's about it. You got some left and right motion right there. The elbows here are on ball joints, so you get a full range of motion there. The elbows are basically on two joints. You've got a little ratchet joint right here, very soft ratchet, but then you also have the ball section down here, which allows it to move forward and back as well. And then the main purpose of it is to rotate side to side, so you do have that as well. You come down here as part of the arm gimmick, I guess. You got a little bit of waist rotation. You got the hips that are all crazy. They angle down like I was showing you. They move forward and back on ball joints, in and out. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh, and then they bend here at the knee as well. So all the articulation that is in previous figures is in this as well, plus the weird sliding the hip joint thing, which I don't understand. It's kind of strange, but it isn't bad if you ask me. Now for his arm mode, we're just going to rotate all this stuff up, kind of spin this around, detach this tabs in there very securely. Oh, and then you have to angle these out. That kind of locks those up there. Bring that up, kind of fiddling with that. There we go, and you can tab that back in there. You can bring this up like so. These, I mean, these arms you can position down like so. It kind of gets in the way here when you're slotting things in. You can rotate it around if you want to, bringing this around. I mean, it's personal preference, honestly, in how you want to configure your arm to look. And then you just bring these two halves together, I guess. Yeah, you extend that down. That allows you to have that arm. Then bring this like that. You can bring this up like so. You got another hole right there. And then, or you can, if you wanted to, you can leave that down there. I don't know why you would want to, but you could. And then you just bring out his hand. Of course, I cannot get these fingers out because it's impossible for me. So bringing that down like that. And then you can peg that in there just like so. And here you have his arm. Again, you can leave that up if you want to. You can angle it back a little bit more. You can fold that up, something like that. But there you have his arm. You got the rotation right there. You got the, well, actually you're going to want the rotation to be there so that you can get the double joint right there. So you do have that swivel there. You got the other swivel right down there. You got this, which allows you to rotate the arm up and down. But like I said, for me, Breakdown isn't an arm. I never use him as an arm. I never liked him as an arm. It was always, for me, how he looked in the cartoon, and he didn't look like that in the cartoon. So I'm not going to use it as an arm, but you do have that option, as I said, as part of the Scramble City Combiner set. You're afforded that luxury to be able to put them into whatever, well, to put them in whatever configuration you might want. And I think that's one of the most exciting aspects of it. And then it also gives the people at Hasbro the ability to basically take the same figure, repaint it, and give you another combiner for such as Sunstreaker, for example. I mean, we know that we are getting a Sunstreaker. Why is, oh, well, I'm fiddling this all the wrong way. We know that we are getting a Sunstreaker. I don't think it's actually been officially shown that this is the figure that they're going to use for it. So I would imagine that they are going to, just because, like I said, this just absolutely looks, when you get this on there, that just looks like his engine. I'm sorry, but there you have it. And then, yeah, you swivel these up to create that. So, I mean, I understand why it's like that. I just don't like it. I think it's kind of weird and a little unfortunate, but the guy is really solid and very well put together. Now, to go back into his vehicle mode, again, you're basically doing a lot of the same stuff. We're just going to position this up like that, angle these down, just like so. You do kind of want to rotate his head. You don't have to, but when you bring this in, this little section right here kind of gets in the way of the head, so when you rotate it around, it creates a flatness to it that fits underneath there a little bit better. So you don't have to rotate the head, but it is a little bit helpful. So lift these, you're going to bring these up just like so, then these swivel out, and again, these legs are very similar to how the original one transformed, and I dig that. So bring this down, bring that down, and then you've got this little tab that slots in on the inside right there. So bringing this in, and it's kind of tough to get that in there, but there you go. Once you get it, it's pretty easy. So again, angle this out, swivel that around. You're going to bring these two sections together, bring that in, squeeze all this together right like so, bring this section down, bring that down, lock that into place. And then again, if we're going into Sunstreaker mode, this is basically him, but getting that off of there, there you have Breakdown back in his vehicle mode. And once again, I really do think that Hasbro nailed it with this. In terms of his vehicle mode, this thing undoubtedly looks just like Breakdown. The only thing that I'm kind of unsure of is the 15 Racing. I have no idea what that is in reference to, but I'm sure one of you guys is going to tell me. The transformation is fairly similar to a lot of the other Stunticons that we have, especially here, like with the opening this top section, the front of the car kind of folding back. It's very similar, and the arms just kind of tuck along the side, but each one really does yield a completely different looking vehicle while still utilizing a fairly similar engineering. And that really does impress me. And then when you get to the robot mode, the only thing that I really don't care too much for are those weird swivel hips, but I understand why it's there. It helps to come together and actually make the arm mode, but I mean, none of the other figures have that, so I don't understand why this one needed to have it. But the real draw for this is the fact that it can combine, and I think it is a terrific new way to bring combiners to us. I mean, it just is working so well, in my opinion. I think that Hasbro is nailing it with these. Now, Wave 2 is slowly trickling out to various retail places, or there's always Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You go to Big Bad Toy Store where you can pick this up and add it to your collection today. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that you can keep in touch with me by liking my Facebook page at facebook.com/TeamBotimus and by following me over on Twitter at twitter.com/Optibotimus. Also, I'd encourage you to check out my new website at OptibotimusReviews.com, where you can see all my videos from the previous week, see what I have coming up for future release, and also get your very own Optibotimus t-shirt. And finally, I'd also really appreciate it, guys, that if you like this review, don't forget to please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. You've been put to the test, but it's never enough. You got the touch, you got the power. When all hell's breaking loose, you'll be right in the eye of the storm. We're gonna race. Okay, let's go. On the count of 3. 1, 2. Ah! You cheated! Ah!